Wait, is this their real comp? What is this? This is whack comp. Triple DPS, Lucio Brig. Huh. I mean, they can dive really, really hard, but like, I don't know why you don't run Winston. I feel like the ball doesn't get as much value if you're just going for like instant, let's just kill things pressure. I feel like the ball gets shut down a little bit more than the Winston does. It does have more survivability in this comp though, so. This is what Cyclops wants to do. They want to like stand in an area, hide from the chance of getting flanked from everywhere, and they were basically standing in a room with only two entrances, so.
Gives them some early ultimate charge as well. Really surprising Talon Esports. Not something they can do twice in a row, I'm afraid. Talon Esports should be wisened up to this, expecting TYG to do some better scouting to really see where CAG are.
Now, kind of sticking in that same position. So yeah, like you said, you know, shame on me if you fool me twice for Talons. They are not going to get fooled again. In fact, they're looking to be the ones to initiate. Do pop up Tayo. He's low, but it's Bazzi who drops. They don't quite get the close out.
Yeah, you have to engage as a team here. You can't have your Genji go in alone. I mean, you can give him, well, they don't even have orb. They can give him like pre-armor. So you can kill this bubble. This is all fine. This dash is just so risky because he can't get orb, he can't get Ana Pocket. There's no way for him to like get the assistant that he really needs here, because there's a chance that they just Brig stun him, just melt him with Winston and D.Va, and there's not really any backup he can get. Like this Brig's basically done nothing for Talon. Like he's not had any AoE healing really. He's just now getting it.
Such a good defensive play from CAG as well. You see the immediate dive in, hack right onto Tyro. He survives.
Them staying as a unit is really, really good here. They have to realize that the Sombra's getting ult soon, so they need to split up, or just play to hide their Zen.
Collecting kills supported by Lucio, supported by Claire.
Talon are coming up on some big ultimates here though. Deadeye out to try and zone a little bit. Oh, TYG a little bit too far in. That is unfortunate. But with
I don't know what he's showing there. He should just be hiding. He should be stealthed. Is he trying to build his ult? I want to see. Oh, there's no reason for him to peek. Why is he peeking? You can just stealth and then go to the high ground.
It should be actually a very difficult fight to lose now, unless the EMP catches a lot of members. There's a decent amount of defensive ultimates, sound barrier, as well as transcendence available.
This is a bit wacky here for Talon.
Oh, this guy could stagger himself here. Yeah, saw that one coming.
There's no res available either. They're not running a mercy, so they have to reset every single time they lose a play. And CAG have been so good across multiple maps now at finding these.
They want these chaotic fights. Like Talon is able to wrap here and like get good value, but they want to just touch points with the amount of players that they need to and like cross very quickly. They can have these good fights. Oh, you don't pull blade in the room. When there's so many stuns, you don't pull blade in the room. You pull it before and you go in. Because there's so many chances for you to, even if the EMP goes off, to still get killed by people shooting at you and stuff, so.
CAG did have to commit a lot into that, but you gotta say it was worth it now. Only 1 minute left for Talon.
And this is when you got so much.
Yeah, Talon used so many ults there. It's the big problem. I feel like they just make the rotation onto point, and then the Korean stuff are gonna have to come out of the room eventually. Like, it can't just be the tanks there. So they cross, they touch the point, and then they'll be out in the open for your Genji.
Looking at the Deadeye now, this is going to be a big weapon for CAG and for Talon Esports. You need to see these flanks, you need to see more pressure onto that back line. You need to shut down depth. And Tyro, well, Tyro's actually been going down a decent amount, so that's one thing Talon are able to do consistently.
But they're still not.
And down he
They're
goes.
having the split now where they're touching the point. They have a Widow to actually clean them up, but
Response hasn't got good targets though. Only takes a couple of shots onto Kagora. He is forced back a little bit. Finally goes down, but not before Savagod went out as well.
10 seconds.
Ken Mahororo D-Max. This is the fight.
yeah, it took them so long. It's pretty risky, and they're playing like somewhat safe with this Lucio Brig because I imagine they don't want to lose either of them because that's their only sustain because of this triple DPS. So
Time here. Week's really popping off. The full wrap around Anakin. No hope of surviving there. Claire looking to go down as well. Teo, first to die, last to die. And this
like if you were playing this comp with the triple DPS, you ideally just want the one tank to be playing on point, and then he's basically the team's just slave where he just does whatever the team doesn't want to do, and then the 3 DPS are allowed to go around and do things. But like when they're not able to like play aggressively enough, then it ends up being like a DPS having to like play like very passively on the point. It was very slow for them to clean up the kills.
Speaking of back line, that is not surviving for Savagod and
Not this
hack
time.
out the EMP. Landing on a lot of members. Anakin's down. Hack out onto Ken Mahororo as well. Teo, he can just
I feel like this D.Va ends up overcommitting for this Widow.
Transcendence in this
Okay,
case.
so Teo gets killed early,
The inevitable Tyro wasn't saved, and that Tyro goes down again. Super early, we mentioned
so it's actually a problem for them.
but
He comes out though.
see where the back line is surviving a reasonable amount of time, but that front
Yeah, the problem is like the Zen's dead now, and he's flying in with no pocket, so he won't get Zen Orb. He definitely won't get Lucio heals. He just got armor packed, so there's no more healing he's going to be receiving, and it means he's gonna like jump on this Widow. This Widow's just gonna run away from him,
line is in trouble.
like he does, and now he has to come back to the point.
that is not surviving for
But he's making this rotation back, and his team is getting killed because they all just got EMP'd.
landing on a lot of
So he's coming back to the point, he's not getting healed, and then he's just going to lose his max. So he basically does nothing. He zones the Widow a little bit, but the thing is, the Widow isn't the win condition here. The Widow is basically just a bait for one of them to dive on him, and then they have the members, so they have this. They still have the other 2 DPS, and they have the 2 supports that do good damage as well, so
hack out onto Ken Mahororo as well. Teo
they're able to commit like very hard onto Cyclops' backline and just kill them, so
trying to rescue this one. CAG do have that closer respawn, but they need to be getting kills to make it count for something. Oh, and a
he shouldn't die to that bomb. You just hold shield.
avoids that. Ken
This looks like a cap.
could not make on the point. It's only Claire. He's sure to go down. There was still a few mines left over, and yeah, unless they get that one last rack of respawns, it's looking like Talon could just do it. No one on the point.
Yeah, that was pretty well played.
For CAG not to be, look, they
We used to be
That audience honestly looks lit, dude.
have a
expecting this to be before capping it out. Like you said, we could well just see a very similar time. Kind of evens up the playing field. But it may not be even at all. Maybe CAG get a better time. Maybe they don't cap B at all.
So this is quite deadly. Talon Esports have again that triple.
Okay, they're playing this on defense now. Now this is much more risky on defense because you lose one fight, you lose the point, where on offense you just lose potentially 30, 45 seconds. So they have to play very aggressively here in the choke with their cooldowns, and they have to one-shot someone, so
Yes, but they also have Doomfist.
you could have stunned that.
That's a nice catch. And CAG, every single one of these picks will stick.
Now that's a good catch.
Speaking of,
Oh, are they not resetting properly? Let's see.
DPS, but they also have Doomfist.
Anakin's already
Okay.
Dunzo. That's a nice catch. And
Yeah, they need to get out
will stick.
much sooner.
Speaking of, a week with the headshot going down, and now Talon. This is a quick reset to CAG.
Cyclops is basically playing the counter comp to this, where you don't want to dive into this comp, and they have the window where they can potentially kill someone very quickly, but they have Lucio Brig, so it's not a lot of burst healing once you actually get the kills. It's a lot of sustained healing once you're actually in a fight. So if they get chunked like they did, or if the Kree just like lands a headshot on one of them, they're basically dead if the armor pack's already been used, and it's probably been used early on to like during the dive or like right before the dive to like pre-armor someone. So
Step finds another one. I thought Talon were about to move back and just start another defense, but no such luck.
And this is Talon Esports just bleeding out. They just continually lose one member after another member. can't quite get back, or they're going to get back on time, but Persia already goes down.
Yeah, Gagora's going to get...
I don't know who's the off tank or who's the other support, but they need a swap.
Even with losing Anakin quickly, I've almost got to say that is a one-and-done situation for capping out A. Now 7 minutes to close out the map.
And this is also the snowball push coming through as well. Deadeye available for Dep. Nothing really else in terms of ultimates. They're going to have to really... Oh, wow. If they lose members to Baz, which they're starting to, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Talon can do here is find those opening picks in the fights. And so far,
They can... Cyclops can pre-armor their tanks, though.
this is what they really need.
Pre-armor one of their tanks, give another one orb, and have them clear and like scout the high ground so that doesn't happen before they make that rotation.
Alright, so you're not really going to see a big snowball push coming out of CAG anymore. They do still have a decent amount of ults to play with because Talon Esports were able to win their very crucial opening defense onto B. They're about to get themselves that Dragon Blade.
Excuse me, you play to put your monkey, if you're Cyclops, just on the Ana, and you just kill off all their healing, basically. Like, you clear this high ground like they are, which is good.
Now CAG have found their entry. They do have a lot of ultimates.
Make the rotation, this is fine. And then you just primal the Ana next fight.
Wait for Dep and be able to rotate on the left side, but this is where they get caught out. This is where last time Bazzi found himself a kill. Talon Esports now, they do also have a Wrecking Ball. Gagora can really stop them in their tracks.
And he is going to do just that. Pops them all up. Oh, but TYG!
That's a massive
They
kill.
needed that EMP so badly. They do teammate Ken Mahororo and weak in on the back line with the Dragon Blade. Transcendence from 7 on to counter it out. And the sound
Like, this is pretty good use of support ults to like keep themselves alive, but they don't have the win condition anymore. Like, Talon wants these chaotic fights where basically it's like a DPS jumping in, having 3 people focus them, get out. Have another DPS come in, have 3 people focus them, potentially kill someone, get out. And the trades work for them if they get like a kill. And if they trade, that's fine, because they have other 2 DPS to do damage. And if this Ana isn't being occupied enough, then they're going to win every single fight. So,
Wrecking Ball. Gagora can really stop them in their tracks.
and he is going to do
like, this trance doesn't end up saving the suit, so they end up like losing one of their tanks. So it's basically a tank, 1 tank versus 1 tank comp. Sure, they kill the Moira, they get the suit though.
Massive kill.
they needed that EMP so badly. They do teammate Ken Mahororo and weak.
The problem is we see on the top right, Ana's now getting pressured from Talon.
7 on to counter it out. And
Nades himself,
well, really dumbing it down.
but he is free healing the whole time. So I think it was like Winston might have been on for a bit. But I mean, it's Ball and Doomfist. They can like buy a lot of time. And then there was Brig Heals like constantly healing them and they armored up. So it's like they got a lot of sustain health during that fight where Cyclops just wasn't able to match it because they need to split their team. Like the monkey needs to be on the Ana. And if there's like not an efficient time window where they like kill him in time, then he just gets armor packed and he gets to live.
Now get to use that again, and there's no support ultimates on the side of CAG. There's no transcendence to counter out this EMP.
Yeah, and he didn't have a diva to help him dive.
It's probably just going to have to be a dry push. They're going to have to look for some ultimates to get out of Talon Esports and charge some of their own.
That's a big commit straight out the gate. That's what Talon want. They want these high impact, low economy kind of fights. There's only 2 ultimates out.
It's 1080p, right? Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Sweep of CAG. I think Ken Mahororo
This is tough. 10 HP as well. He just wants to go down.
just wants someone to kill him there.
By the way, there's only 2 ultimates being used by Talon Esports. A very, very quick contest there. TYG immediately with the EMP, wasting no time.
Yeah, using the Ana ult is pretty easy, I'd say, with this comp. It's not the same because you don't have to build as fast with the 2 tanks, but still works alright.
Back out on the back line and TYG is able to
It's all just buying time. Cyclops needs to have a fast rotation here. Clear the high ground of the Doomfist. Make this fast rotation. There they go. Yeah, you can peel and kill that guy.
This is miles away from the point though. They're losing members, but they are trading some back. Finding Deb and Bazzi in a weak state of life. Now with Dragon Blade to be committed. Bazzi!
It was a bit scary here, killing the ball this early, but I think he was just buying room for his DPS to actually set up. Because we can see the Sombras now behind them, and he's getting a hack. The Genji's getting ready to blade. The Doomfist was able to come in. Yeah, it's basically the whole team on Talon's actually able to walk up here and like get a good commit.
This is miles away from the point though. They're losing members, but they are trading some back. Finding Deb and Bazzi in a weak state of
The only problem here is Cyclops didn't use anything, and Talon used 3 ults, kind of like panicky, and they're not going to build much Ana ult up this fight. So it's like, yes, they won, but it felt a little bit panicky, even though it looked like they were going to have like a dominant win after they had the trade where they killed the Brig.
They would have used a lot less than that. Ideally, Gogora doesn't go down, and they're able to get a few more picks. But for CAG, that's actually a very decent fight for them, despite losing, because they needed to get ultimate advantage, and finally they have that.
Now, Cyclops at the gaming, coming in for what they're hoping is their final approach. Gogora's still with that minefield, though. That's a real hassle when you're fighting it out on that point.
Really looking to see here is that trend.
There, Ana get zoned here? He is getting healing off. Okay, he gets hacked. So that Doomfist goes in alone. Oh no, this ball's going in a bit alone. Oh man, that bomb spot that should have been practiced. You can put the bomb up here, and it blasts radius, and it would have killed him, and potentially like up to here would have been the kill range. So it's a little bit farther, probably like here. But yeah, like you drop the bomb there, like they had the good zoning because like they basically counter dove everyone back here, while everyone on Talon was over here, besides the Doomfist and the ball who dove, who immediately got 6v1 and 6v2 killed. So. This is like good for Cyclops. The Brig though sustains a little bit weak. They have a lot more damage. Yeah, Stain's actually hurting them. They have the blade now, so I understand why they're swapping to the Moira. I would have liked... it's first triple DPS. Maybe the Moira is good. I'm not actually sure. It is a bit weird here where you're like, just play Ana, but against like 3 damage and a ball potentially diving you, maybe the Moira is better.
Attempting to change here, he might do so anyway. There's kind of no way he should have really used that EMP. You kind of just want to absorb.
Who did they hit with this offense EMP? Talon uses it on 2 members. Yeah, probably been. You probably just save it there. I mean, it's panicky at a point where you felt like you've been holding it on for so long. You need to use it now, but at the same time, when you've been building it up that long, and then the other team also EMPs, you don't want to just reset your ult economy and be like, hey, we're the same now. Having that advantage would actually be really big coming into this next fight, where there's no defensive ult for Talon, so. I think the D.Va just basically team killed them, where they booped him in. Booped the Nanoblade in, even though they had technically kited it out. So when Anakin goes in with the blade, guess what? The rest of his team is not able to back him up. The rest of his team are too busy running away from a weak instead. And every single fight, CAG is just bleeding out ultimates and not getting progress. CAG struggling to find what's going to work for them on this map. Depth, he's decided Doomfist is the answer and immediately finds his counterpart, Bazzi. This is perfect depth. There we go. Maybe they finally found the fire they've been missing. Hey, they have a Brig on offense. It's pretty good for stopping this dive.
every single fight.
Because they're trying to force very hard, so they take this high ground, but they isolate the thing is the problem. So this Genji is now getting tagged a lot, and he has to play very safe. But their Doom is in. Like, he committed. He uses cooldowns. You definitely need to ult to get out. The ball committed too now, but Cyclops has no pressure on them anymore. The Doom is dead. The Genji had to get out. The ball is now getting his cooldowns back, but the rest of his team is dead, and so...
He's going to find no one, and it's nearly capped out as well. If they can push this to overtime, that is a big
So if you miss all your Doomfist cooldowns, you're not a hero.
They've got all these members on, and there we go. With just a few seconds left.
PAG can actually push in that. Well, the thing is, if they cap out a push,
This goes to a tie. One could be a bit of an interesting. Kind of wiped clean, and we just continue.
Okay, so they're running the comp they should be running. Seeing what Talon was running before, which is good. Get that fast rotation. Yep.
We'll see if Talon Esports play a little bit more defensively here. They don't get baited out by Tyre or anything like that. Last time, they lost a member very quickly. Snowballed out of control for CAG in CAG's favor. And CAG themselves...
They need to get information for this Kree, though, is the problem. Like, sure, you armor pack the Kree. You need to give him time to, like, make room, though. You don't want to let this Widow, like, reposition over here. Because now the Widow has a line of sight as you're trying to, like, come out. So, like, the whole point of, like, having the fast rotation that's coming through here is you immediately force so the Widow doesn't have better sight lines. When you give the Widow chance to reposition, now you have to take your whole team and spend a lot of time out in the open, potentially letting her free shoot at you. And they don't have good dive, so they're a counter dive comp that rotates with speed boost, so... Yeah, they just really isolated the Kree there. The ball came in, then everyone was just crossfiring them.
They're going to have to reset now. Tyro's coming back online. Dep's coming back as the Widow. You have to expect Dep to get some crazy headshots here. Otherwise, it's all over.
Oh no! With less than 10 seconds, those are late kills on those supports.
The staggers are really, really painful. They can't even come back and touch.
That's the thing, even at the course of that almost full hold before the final win. Talon, like you said, only 1/3 as they go barreling towards the...
They're already on the point.
This puts the pressure on CAG there to get the boots on the ground to answer. Need to find the kills here, and this is what Talon want.
You're in like such a bad position here if you're on defense. It's probably the best they can do. I probably would have gone Doom over Genji? I'm not sure exactly. Genji's probably okay. There we go, the Mercy's peeling for the Ana. Oh.
They do at least find Bazzi, but they trade off Kenmar for CAG, but again, they need to get the kills to make it count.
Well, CAG haven't actually technically won a fight yet. Tayo's so low, if he goes down, it's a big problem.
They do at least find Bazzi.
This Ana ends up having to be like hard peeled for by the Mercy, and so no one ends up getting any heals because the Ana backs up and the rest of the members just don't end up getting healed.